Hi everybody, welcome. I'm super delighted today to have a former student of mine here to talk to you today, kind of keeping with the same information that we've been learning regarding the human-animal bond and how animals touch our lives in different ways. Tiffany is a graduate of the Department of Animal Sciences and Agricultural Education program, and she now is actively teaching agriculture. And so I'm really happy to have her here today to talk to you about how her dog Roxy has changed her life, has worked with her for a long time. Thank you for coming, Tiffany. Nice to have you in the classroom.
We're glad to come. Miss Roxy, who keeps trying to sleep on me. Can you sit? Sit. Thanks. So just to start off, I'd like to talk a little bit about myself. I have cerebral palsy, so basically how I describe it, it's like your router being broken on your computer. You can't necessarily send the signals from your brain to the rest of your body very well, so I'm very uncoordinated, I fall a lot, usually covered in some form of bruise. So I use a chair to get around, it's much safer. So that led me in high school to apply for this beautiful girl here named Roxy. I got her in November of 2009, is that right? And I wasn't even planning on getting Roxy. I thought I was gonna get a different dog, but here's Roxy, and I love her. She is amazing. And let's see, what else? We'll start clicking. So as far as CCI goes, who is eligible for a CCI dog? Anybody that has a physical or developmental disability is eligible to apply for a dog. If you're over 18, that dog can be used on your own without a parent present. If you're under 18, a parent has to be present. So I waited till I was older so that way my parents didn't get to be involved. I'm just super independent. So there's different types of dogs that CCI trains for the developmental or physically disabled. There's service dogs, which is what Roxanne does. She has full public access and can do everything from turning on a light to opening a door, picking up keys, pulling me around campus, and any type of a physical task in that nature. A skilled companion dog is for maybe a child with autism or a developmental delay that maybe they're just not as comfortable being out in public and need a little help. So those types of dogs would typically be used with a parent present. And then they have facility dogs, which would be like if one of your professors wanted a dog in the classroom to help ease the tension on test day or whatever the case might be. And then hearing dogs, which are for the hearing impaired. They alert to sounds, water boiling on the stove, all of those things that you don't think about not being able to hear on a daily basis. And they leave the training of guide dogs to guide dogs for the blind because they're the ones that are good at it. So applying for a dog, like I said, I applied for Roxy my junior year of high school and didn't receive a call that my time had come to go to team training until I was a sophomore in college. So it's quite an extensive process to apply for a dog. I sent in the paperwork, I printed it out while my parents were at work, put it in the mail, I knew where the postage was, and they were like, they got all this stuff from Canine Companions for Independence, and they were like, what's this about you getting a dog? And I didn't even know they didn't even know I was getting a dog until I was like, oh, Mom, Dad, I'm getting a service dog. Look at that. And so I had to go to the doctor, and at the time I just had a regular primary care, and he didn't even know what to put on the form or how the dog would actually help me. So I had to basically fill it out for him, and he just signed it. Phone interview was just a quick phone interview, and then I had to go down in person and meet with them. And kind of, they ask you what you want the dog to do, so that way when a dog comes through their program, they're looking for those things that you need. And that's where it all started. So the training process, that's actually the first picture I ever took of Roxy. It's pretty cute. I was our first sleepover in the dorms, and we weren't allowed to send them to anybody because they didn't want, if the match didn't work, they didn't want us to be getting our parents excited over a dog we may not get. So I had to keep it to myself, and I was so nervous about it. But
I've always said this to you, and this is funny, is about the obedience, because in the Department of Animal Sciences, we kind of ruin Roxy a little bit because we're all animal oriented, and so we want to run up and talk to her and be with her, and it's part of that, feeling good and human animal bond thing. So we're trying not to ruin Roxy too much.
But she's pretty good about it. If I bring treats and make myself more interesting, she usually comes around. But puppies are raised with a puppy raiser, a volunteer puppy raiser, for about 1.5 years. And she was raised out in Idaho with a lovely family who I just adore. And they come back to CCI, which we call Doggy College. So they went to their pre-grad school. Now they got to go to grad school, and they go to advanced training, and they build on all of those skills, and that's where they really start to pay attention to the dog's personality and kind of what the dog has to offer, so that way they can match it with a person. So as far as training goes, there's 2 semesters of advanced training, and then there's team training. So the difference between the first and second semester of advanced training is just they're building on those skills for that dog. And then team training is 2 weeks with a group of possible handlers, so possible recipients, at their campus any of their campuses really do it. There's one in Oceanside, there's one in Santa Rosa. It's 2 weeks, so I went down for 2 weeks and had to stay there. I didn't know at the time you had to bring all your groceries and stuff with you, so I made frequent Target runs the whole time I was there. And then they do follow-ups, so every year I have to go back and they follow up with me about how she's doing, stuff like that. So this is our actual photo of like my team training when I went to team training and did that. Like I said, it was 2 weeks in Santa Rosa. I stayed at the dorms. It was more like training the people than training the dogs, because the dogs already know it. So it's just about getting the people to not do it wrong. We practice with different dogs because they're not really sure which dogs are going to be a fit for each person. And we went on a lot of field trips to learn how it would be like to bring the dog out in public. And then we had a final meeting about knowing which dog we were going to get. And that's when I was told I was getting Roxanne. And it was pretty funny at the time because I had really blonde hair. So then they were like, oh, here come the blondes, because Roxy's blonde. So, And then graduation, it's actually a huge event. This last year they had graduation at the Santa Rosa Arts Center, and they pack the house. It's huge, everyone's crying, bring the Kleenex. I never understood at the time why it was such an emotional experience. I had never gotten a service dog before. I didn't yet at that time understand the impact that she would have on my life. And now going back and seeing a graduation, I get emotional because I now understand what those people are receiving, and I get it. And her puppy raisers I'm still in good contact with, and they're just such a sweet family. They came to my college graduation. I mean, I just love them. They're like family now. So some of the stuff I have to follow while having Roxanne, required yearly health checks. They send me a paper, I take it to the vet. Now that she is almost 8, she has hip x-rays done every year to make sure that her hips are still working good, because part of the thing in maintaining that team and that connection is making sure that she's healthy. Just like, you want to make sure your horse is healthy, you want to make sure if they don't feel good, they're not going to do their job.
And you and I've talked about that a lot in terms of, when people might, look at your dog and talk to you about her health and that relationship, that it's really important to the program and to you to make sure that she remains healthy, and the concern about how is she doing, because she's doing a lot of physical work and pulling, and it's really an extensive program to keep her in good health and make sure that she is fit to do a good job and continue a good relationship with you.
Yeah, and what I've noticed too as she's gotten older, she's more lethargic at times. She gets more tired. So I've started to kind of wheel myself more and not lean on her as much, give her a break, and then when she's not tired, then I take over or she'll take over, and we have to, it really is a team.
And I've seen you in the library and other places. She still does some things for you. She'll pick up things, turn on lights, push the elevator button, and she's really good at it.
And she enjoys it, and that's, I think, the part that I enjoy, is watching her wag her tail and get all excited. And, it brings me happiness to see her happy. So we have currently a 3-year certification. It just got redone about a year ago, and so in 2 years we'll go back and do it again. And what they base it on is not only her health, but how are we working as a team? Is she too reactive to people? Is she having some training issues? And if they don't think we were as strong as we were, they'll back it down and say, we'll do a 1 year and you have to come back and we want to talk to you about improving this or that. And no putting your dog in danger. I have to keep her on a leash at all times. I got a special permission for fly ball, because that's off leash in public. But she does fly ball and dog agility on the weekends for fun, because everybody wants to have fun. And don't abuse your dog, because that's not cool. So, which I never would. So, service dogs can have fun. Roxy plays fly ball. We've been doing that for about 3 years. So on the weekends, she does agility and fly ball, and she picked it up so quickly, it was kind of scary. We were at our second practice, and they were like, oh, we have to teach her to do box work. And they ended up saying, well, can she get the ball off the box? And, oh, does she know how to do this? And I was like, Roxy, jump, fetch. And she jumped and fetched and did a box turn, snap your fingers, she knew it. And they were like, whoa. And I'm like, oh, is that not normal? I didn't know. And yes, now that I have a puppy and I'm teaching my puppy to do the same thing, it's very hard. So I can see why they were so amazed. When they retire, which is something that I try not to think about, but being that she's almost 8, I know that it's in my future. They can be of service for, it says 8 years, but really it's up to the dog. If they're still healthy, their joints are good, they can keep going. I have some friends with CCI dogs that their dogs are 13, 14, and they're still going. And the graduate, so I have first choice of adopting Roxanne when she retires. They call it adopting because I have physical ownership of her, not legal ownership. So CCI still maintains the legal rights over the dog. If I choose to not adopt her for whatever reason, maybe I'm getting a successor dog, and 3 dogs because I have a puppy at home is just too much, which won't be the case. I'll make room for everybody. The zoo can live with me. My parents could adopt her if they wanted, which they would in a heartbeat, or her puppy raisers also have a choice to adopt her. And if none of those options work out, they have a list within their company that they adopt out to public or other trainers. Once they retire, their vest is taken back, their tags are taken back, and they're just considered a pet and have no public access capabilities. So here is my information. If anybody out there has questions, you can feel free to email me, or there's the CCI website too.
Perfect. Thank you, Tiffany. Something else that you might be interested in terms of your service learning project, your animal-assisted therapy or your animal-assisted activity assignment, that CCI might be a good connection for a choice that you'll make for your 10 hours of out-of-classroom service learning. So if Tiffany can help you with that, or you can actually go online and contact Canine Companions for Independence, that might be a good choice for you. I know that you wanted to show us a couple things that Roxy does with you, and I know it's not the best place to actually do some things, but you know, over the years I've seen some of the things that she helps you with. So if you want to just show some of those things.
Roxy, get. Step. Give. Good girl. Off. What a good girl. Yes, you are. Good job. Can you speak? No? No speaking? Roxy, speak. Roxy, speak. 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 Yeah, speak. Good job.
Good job, Roxy. See, we're spoiling her. It's always a delight having you in the classroom. Thank you so much for coming to speak to the students today. And again, if you want to make a connection with Canine Companions for Independence or Tiffany, you know where to find her. Thank you.